Good morning and happy Monday. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Welcome to Weather HQ. Today's headlines. Typhoon Pepito continues to move northwestward to west-northwestward today over the West Philippine Sea until it exits the Philippine Area of Responsibility this morning or noon. Signal number 3 is up in parts of northern Luzon. President Marcos launches relief caravan for Bicol, one of the regions most hit by recent calamities. 24 truckloads of goods are deployed to over 150,000 displaced families and individuals to support recovery efforts in Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, and Albay through distribution of relief goods and financial assistance payouts. How do we reverse the degradation of the country's environment? I'll speak with the World Wildlife Fund for Nature Philippines later in the show. And a new study suggests climate change is responsible for nearly a fifth of the record number of dengue cases worldwide this year, highlighting how rising temperatures spread disease. Well, let's take a look at the local weather at the moment. Now, before we give you an update on Typhoon Pepito, let's first have a recap on where it landed. Now, of course, as we take a look at the typhoon wind signals over here, this of course was the effect of that. But let's take a look at the landfall recap. At 9:40 p.m. last Saturday, as Super Typhoon Pepito made its first landfall in Panganiban, Catanduanes. Then it moved over the sea east of the Bicol region and Quezon until it made its second landfall at around 3:40 p.m. in the Paculao, Aurora, as you can see over here. Now, after it made its second landfall, it crossed over the Quirino province, and at 8 p.m. last night, it weakened as a typhoon over Nueva Vizcaya, then crossed over Benguet province. And of course, we're going to see that movement in just a bit, but then this is the second landfall that Typhoon Pepito had as we take a look at the landfall recap. Of course, it did move on later on, crossing over Benguet province, and at 11 p.m. was seen over the coastal waters at La Union and Pangasinan. Let's take a look at where Typhoon Pepito is at the moment. As of 5 a.m. today, the eye of the typhoon was located 145 kilometers of Sinait, Ilocos Sur. Right over here, it has massive sustained winds of 130 kph near the center and gustiness of up to 160 kph, and is moving in a northwestward direction at a speed of 30 kph. Now, based on Pagasa's latest track, Pepito will continue moving generally northwestward, west-northwestward today until it exits the PAR this morning or at noon. Now, outside the PAR, the tropical cyclone will turn more westward or west-southwestward on Tuesday under the influence of an incoming northeasterly wind surge. Now, Typhoon Pepito is forecast to further weaken as it moves over the West Philippine Sea. Now, even though it is weakening, we have to note that there will be signal number 3 still up. The extension will bring unfavorable weather conditions in some parts of Luzon. Again, Pagasa still raised signal number 3 in the northern and western portions of Ilocos Sur, the northwestern portion of La Union, the western portion of Abra, and these residents will continue to experience gusty winds of up to 117 kph. People living in low-lying areas are advised to remain in their respective evacuation areas and stay away from the coasts and riverbanks. Signal number 2 is up in the following locations: Ilocos Norte, the rest of Ilocos Sur, the rest of La Union, Pangasinan, the rest of Abra, the western portion of Mountain Province, and Benguet, as well as the northern portion of Zambales. These areas will have winds of up to 88 kph, and intermittent rains are still expected in at least 24 hours. Signal number 1 is hoisted in the following regions: Apayao, Kalinga, the rest of Mountain Province, Ifugao, the western portion of Cagayan, Nueva Vizcaya, the northern and central portions of Nueva Ecija, Tarlac, the central portion of Zambales. Winds of up to 61 kph and intermittent rains may be expected within 36 hours. Let's take a look at the rainfall forecast today. Due to the Typhoon Pepito, residents in La Union, Pangasinan, Benguet, Zambales, Cagayan, and Isabela will continue to experience heavy rains and intense rains as well, while in Aurora, Quirino, Apayao, Nueva Ecija, Ifugao, Kalinga, Mountain Province, Abra, Ilocos Sur, Pampanga, Ilocos Norte and Nueva Vizcaya, moderate to heavy rains are still expected today. So practically majority of the northern Luzon region. Now, make sure you stay vigilant because widespread incidents of flooding and landslides are still possible in these areas. Let's take a look at the satellite images to show you what we're looking at here so far. Now, based on our latest satellite image, the whole of the Ilocos region will continue to experience stormy weather, while rains with gusty winds are expected over in Zambales and the Cordillera Administrative Region. So please stay safe and alert because moderate to at times heavy rains with intense flash floods and landslides are still possible in your area. In Cagayan Valley, the rest of central Luzon, and here in Metro Manila, Calabarzon, cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms will prevail due to the trough or the extension of Typhoon Pepito, which is why you see these clouds here forming in this particular area. Now, due to the easterlies, the residents in the Visayas and of course the Davao region will have a partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. Now, for the rest of the country, partly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers and localized thunderstorms are expected today throughout the entire day, especially in the afternoon. So do watch out for that. Let's take a look at the sea conditions here. As for sea conditions, coastal waters of Batanes and the eastern coast of Cagayan and Isabela and the western seaboard of Ilocos, Ilocos Sur, La Union, Pangasinan, and the northern coast of Zambales will have rough to very rough sea conditions with wave heights of up to 4.5 to 5 meters high. As you can see here, all of the affected areas as well as the provinces listed over here. Now, because of that, mariners of small sea craft, including all types of motorbangkas, are advised not to venture out to sea, especially in these conditions, especially if they are operating ill-equipped vessels or are inexperienced mariners. Let's take a look at the storm surge warning. Storm surges of up to 2 to 3 meters high are possible in the next hours in Ilocos Sur, in La Union, and in Pangasinan, right over there, while in other areas, while in Aurora, Ilocos Norte, and some parts of Ilocos Sur, Pangasinan, Zambales, and Isabela, storm surges of up to 1 to 2 meters are still possible. Residents are advised to stay away from the coastal areas, and all marine activities should be canceled. As you can see, the affected areas here, again, 1 to 2 meters here, indicated by the yellow line. And apart from the 2 to 3 meters here in Ilocos Sur, La Union, and Pangasinan, 2 to 3 meters expected, while everywhere else will be 1 to 2. As you can see here, all the way up to Ilocos Norte. Now, to know more about what to expect about Typhoon Pepito and for the weather for the entire week, we have with us on the phone Pag-asa Weather Specialist Veronica Torres. Magandang umaga, Veronica. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning din po, Sir Paolo, pati na rin po sa ating mga taga-subaybay sa Bilyonaryo.
Veronica, what can we expect from Typhoon Pepito out of the Philippine landmass but it's still affecting some parts of the country?
Opo, so sa mga susunod na sandali, palabas na nga itong si Pepito ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility. So asahan natin yung simula ng pagbuti ng ating panahon, lalo na sa may Northern Luzon, pero sa mga possible ngayong araw, maulan pa rin, lalo na sa western section ng Northern Luzon. Pero nakikita naman natin na by tomorrow, buong bansa or Metro Manila and the whole country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies condition na at mga chance na lang ng mga localized thunderstorms.
Nakita natin at least base sa ibang bagyo na duman sa Pilipinas that there have been a few storms that have recurved going back to the Philippine Area of Responsibility. Is there a possibility na itong si Pepito will re-enter the PAR?
Sa ngayon po, very low chance na mag-re-enter itong si Pepito sa ating Philippine Area of Responsibility. Nakikita na nga natin na tuloy-tuloy na yung paglabas niya at habang papalayo siya, pahina na rin siya ng pahina.
Veronica, we have seen typhoon after typhoon, weather disturbance after weather disturbance. Ang tanong ngayon, are we going to be typhoon-free in the next few days?
Opo, base sa ating latest analysis sa mga susunod na araw, wala pa naman tayong nakikita na low pressure area na posibleng maging bagyo sa mga susunod na araw. Pero patuloy pa rin tayo magmo-monitor in case magkaroon ng mga rapid changes. Agad tayo magpo-post sa ating mga social media accounts.
That's good to hear, Veronica. And of course, some people may be now wondering, since, well, patapos na yung bagyo at least for this month, what are the updates with regards to the northeast monsoon and will that allow us to experience cold weather?
Opo, dahil nga po sa mga nagdaang bagyo, sa ngayon ay transition period pa nga po tayo, pero yung ating mga kasamahan na mga climatologists, so patuloy yung monitoring nila at tinitingnan nila kung possible na nga sa mga susunod na araw or sa mga susunod na week ay kung mag-aanon sa ba tayo ng northeast monsoon season dahil wala naman na tayo nakita mga crossing na bagyo na posibleng maka-apekto sa announcement ng amihan season.
Now, just to be prepared in case there will be a surge of northeast monsoon and there's a tropical cyclone, are we expecting more tropical cyclones to make landfall?
Yes po, so kapag malakas po yung northeast monsoon, kasi northeast monsoon is associated with high pressure, so ang nangyayari is mas napupush downward yung track ng bagyo, so mas nagla-landfall siya. Although kapag may chance naman na kapag dumadaan sa malamig na dagat yung bagyo, mas humihina naman po siya.
Thank you very much, Veronica Torres, a weather specialist for Pag-asa, for giving us an update on Pepito and more. Maraming salamat po. When we return, I'll speak with the project manager for the Worldwide Fund for Nature Philippines about ways to stop further degradation of the country's environment. Stay tuned. You're watching Weather HQ. Well, welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Now for Nature, or WWF Philippines, is working to help reverse the degradation of the country's environment. Joining us via Zoom is WWF Philippines Project Manager, Che Algot. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Che, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Perfect. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, we have a lot to talk about, especially with regards to the environment, but I want to talk first about global emissions because they are continuing to rise. There have been efforts to try and address it on the international level. Just for those who are hearing more and more about this and, of course, the increasing risk with regards to it, can you tell us a bit more about the causes and impact on our planet at the layman's level?
Sorry, yeah, this is the this is the impact of working at home. No, we cannot control our noise pollution outside. Anyway, yeah, degradation. Understand that although WWF Philippines is only 27 years old, but we are part of a bigger global conservation network that is 63 years in over 100 countries in all 6 continents with over 6,000 people, committed to the mission of stopping the degradation of our planet's natural environment and building a future where people live in harmony with nature. So we do this by conserving biological diversity areas, ensuring that the use of renewable natural resources is sustainable, and promoting reduction of pollution and wasteful consumption. So we recall the fifth assessment report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. In that report, there's about 59 billion tons of greenhouse gases emissions in 2019. But note that at least 54% of this carbon dioxide were taken up by nature, thus slowing down the global warming. And so these are found 31% in land-based ecosystems and 23% ocean-based ecosystems. So our work in WWF is really focusing on these areas. The way to stop this further degradation and further increase of the global warming of our climate, of the temperature, is really creating and conserving more carbon sinks, carbon stores, so that there will be less of these worst scenarios that we are feeling right now.
Can you give us an insight on what are the key projects you're working on at the moment with your organization? And of course, we also talk about stopping the degradation, but then what about reversing it? Is reversing it possible with some of the projects that you're doing?
Maybe this term reversing was mentioned about 4 or 5 years back, pre-COVID time. But moving forward, our focus really is more on stopping this further degradation. So in the Philippines, our 4 thematic preferences are in the areas of sustainable consumption, sustainable food production, habitat conservation, and the energy transition. We know that greater amounts of these greenhouse gases are really caused by fossil fuels. So it is in that area where I am currently working on this project in Butuan City. So
Well,
may mga renewable energy planning tayo, energy efficiency and conservations we work with cities, and we also work with corporates with their corporate social responsibilities and in their journey towards a lowering their carbon footprint.
well,
Yeah.
you mentioned it a while ago, collaboration with both the LGUs and private communities. In regard to that, just how important are they in terms of collaboration and making sure it's a long-term collaboration with regard to the success that you aim to have?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it's really a policy push, right? So, how do we do this? We need to work on areas where science is really a tool for most of their decisions as governments, and then we do capacitate the people, especially in their planning departments.
Well, you also mentioned, we're also talking a lot about policies. We're also talking a lot about what others can do with regard to this. COP29, the climate summit, I'm assuming that you're also keeping tabs on it. It will end on November 22. Are there any significant achievements that you've seen so far from the summit? And of course, do you have any particular wish list with regards to what the summit could actually do?
We do have small wins. For example, our boss at the Climate and Energy Transition Pillar, Attorney Gia, is part of the Philippine delegation right now that is going on in Baku. And yeah, the wins that we have under our work with renewable energy, our work with DOE, are these policies that have been put in place right now that we've been fighting for since like 6 years, 7 years back. So yeah, there are certain things that we do have small wins, and what excites us is our own share of the climate financing for loss and damage.
Well,
Yeah, these are really wins.
Che, we're also hoping for that and more. For those who want to help you guys out, for those who want to contribute, how can people reach out to WWF Philippines?
Well, we do have a website. You can always go visit, and we are present in all social media platforms. Yeah, you can take a look. You can work with us if you're interested. Yeah, please do.
We're hoping that more and more people will be interested in working with all of you and the good work that you do. Maraming salamat, WWF Philippines Project Manager Che Agot, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Pao. Thank you, everyone.
Up next, at least one person dies and thousands leave their homes after tropical depression Sara unleashed heavier rainfall over Honduras this weekend. We'll have that and more on the global weather, the details after the breaks. Stay tuned. You're watching BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. Let's take a look at the global weather. Welcome back. You're watching Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Slow-moving tropical depression Sara unleashed major rainfall over Honduras this weekend, causing at least one death while forcing thousands to flee their homes and destroying bridges and a highway due to flooding. In a report, officials from Honduras's risk management noted that over 71,000 individuals have been affected by the storm, with approximately 4,000 evacuated from their homes and moved to shelters. At least 251 communities were reported to be disconnected from communications as additional rainfall continued across a large portion across the country, and particularly in the eastern and southern regions. Sara shifted to the northwest, making landfall in neighboring Belize on Sunday, as you can see over here, resulting in significant flooding and rising rivers. The storm center is now located in Belize City with maximum sustained winds at 55 kph, and it is moving northwestward at a slow pace of 13 kph. Now, the NHC reduced the storm status to a tropical depression on Sunday and indicated that it expects it to dissipate as it travels further inland across Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Right about there. Now, climate change is responsible for nearly a fifth of the record number of dengue cases worldwide this year, highlighting how rising temperatures spread disease. A new study indicates that around 19% of current dengue cases globally can be attributed to climate warming. In elevated areas of Peru, Mexico, Bolivia, and Brazil, dengue cases could rise by as much as 200% in the next 25 years. More than 12.7 million cases of dengue were recorded this year, nearly double the previous record. Underreporting may mean the real number is closer to 100 million. Erin Mordecai, an infectious disease ecologist at Stanford University, said that dengue is a good first disease to focus on because it is very climate sensitive. Researchers also explored a promising solution: breeding mosquitoes infected with the bacteria called Wolbachia, which can block dengue transmission. Researchers plan to partner with the Brazilian government to build a production facility for Wolbachia mosquitoes to help protect communities. Now, Typhoon Pepito made its second landfall in Aurora. Let's check the typhoon's impact on the province. We have with us on the phone Aurora Governor Reynante Tolentino. Magandang umaga po. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello.
Hello, Governor, do we have an assessment on the damage brought about by Pepito sa Aurora?
So, kinoconsolidate pa namin ngayon po. Kasi ngayon pa lang yun namin. Kasi hindi kami makagalaw kahapon. Kasi alas 7 nung natapos yung hangin kasi. So, yun po yung ina-assess namin ngayon. Kasama ko po ngayon ng PDRMO para ma-assess po, maano po namin ngayon yung mga report ngayon. So, yun na po kasi nakakontak ngayon ng PDRMO sa MSW, sa mga municipal kasi wala pong signal hanggang ngayon, ano po.
Governor,
lang mayroon.
Governor, we have images right now with down trees on power lines. Anong status po ng power electricity situation sa Aurora at accessibility rin po?
Status ng tower. Wala pa rin no? Wala pong baler lang po ang mayroon. Itong LGU baler lang po. Pero sa lahat po, hindi po kami makakontak ngayon. Kaya dumating ko dito si ASEC, Graig, para mag-aerial inspection siya ngayon. Nakarating lang niya kaya ngayon, parating po ngayon para mag-aerial kami ngayon. Kasi wala po kaming connection po sa mga ngayon. Baler lang po, Aurora lang po ang mayroon.
Gov, so far, are you receiving any assistance from the national government po?
Opo, lalo na po yung mga pagkain po, at mga kits, mayroon na po rito, at yun ang pinakamauna, yung mga foods, at saka yan po yung inaanoan namin ngayon. Pero kagabi po, yung iba pong kalsada dito sa norte, hindi pa passable, kaya yung ginawa namin kagabi na i-clear po yun. Hanggang ngayon nag-clearing pa rin kami.
Gov, may update po ba tayo tungkol sa number of evacuees o kung may initial casualty count po kayo?
Wala pa naman. Ang evacuees po namin ay nasa 5,700, bali almost 17,000 individuals.
Governor, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for the update. Hopefully, help comes to you soon.
Okay po. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Aurora Governor Reynante Tolentino. And that will do it for us today on Weather HQ. Join us again tomorrow here on BNC, the Billionaire News Channel. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Have a great Monday.